What if everything you've been told about history is wrong? What if the past is filled with secrets so massive, so terrifying, that they were erased from the records of time? The Bible speaks of giants, colossal beings who roamed the earth, towering over men, waging wars, and shaking the foundations of entire civilizations. But here's what they didn't tell you. These giants were not just one race. They were many, and their existence is far darker than we've been led to believe. After the Great Flood, when the world was washed clean, the giants should have disappeared. They should have been erased. And yet, they returned. How? Why? And what happened to them? Ancient texts hint at their survival, at a continuation of their bloodline, hidden within the pages of history. Were they wiped out in battle, or did they simply vanish into the shadows, their legacy living on in ways we can barely comprehend? Today we're diving deep into a story long buried, one that challenges what we think we know. We'll reveal the 5 races of post-flood giants. We'll follow their trail across the lands of Canaan, Mesopotamia, and beyond. We'll uncover the truth behind the legends, the myths, and the chilling evidence that still remains. So stay with us as we journey into a forgotten chapter of human history, a chapter where myth and reality blur into one. There is a story buried deep in the ancient scriptures, a story that shakes the very foundation of human history. Genesis 6, a passage often overlooked, yet within it a mystery unfolds. A mystery so profound that it was nearly erased from history. It speaks of the sons of God, celestial beings who descended upon the earth. They saw the daughters of men and took them as their wives. But what happened next was unnatural. What was born from this unholy union was something the world had never seen before. The Nephilim, a hybrid race of giants, titans of extraordinary power, beings of immense strength, intelligence, and, some say, divine origin. They walked the earth, towering over men, ruling over ancient civilizations. They were worshipped as gods, feared as monsters, and ultimately they became a threat to existence itself. The world was drowning in corruption. Humanity was on the brink of destruction. And then the flood came. The Great Flood, the divine reset, a cataclysm so powerful it wiped the Nephilim from the face of the earth. Or so it was believed. But here's the question that has haunted scholars, theologians, and seekers of truth for centuries. How did the giants return? The Bible itself states, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward." Genesis 6:4. Afterward. They came back. But how? There are theories. Some believe the fallen angels, those who first fathered the Nephilim, did it again. That even after the flood, they found new ways to interfere with humanity, creating a second wave of giants. Others believe that some Nephilim survived, that hidden pockets of these giants remained buried in lost civilizations, waiting for the right moment to emerge again. Whichever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The giants returned, and this time they were more powerful than ever before. They spread across the ancient world, creating bloodlines of warriors, kings, and demigods. They built fortresses, ruled over civilizations, and became the greatest obstacles standing in the way of mankind's survival. And from their ranks, 5 distinct races emerged, 5 giant bloodlines, each one more terrifying than the last. Who were they? What powers did they possess? And why did history try so hard to bury their existence? The answers lie ahead. And once you see the truth, you'll never look at history the same way again. They were massive, they were powerful, and according to ancient records, they were not human. The Bible speaks of giants that roamed the earth after the Great Flood, colossal beings with supernatural strength, terrifying presence, and an origin shrouded in mystery. But what if I told you There wasn't just one race of giants. There were 5, each more fearsome than the last. Who were they? Where did they come from? And most importantly, what happened to them? Stay with me as we uncover a story that history has tried to bury. This is the truth about the 5 races of giants that walked the earth after the flood. The Rephaim were no ordinary giants. They weren't just creatures of flesh and bone. They were something else. Something not entirely alive. Their name, Rephaim, is linked to spirits, specters, and the undead. To the ancient world, these giants were more than warriors. They were cursed, a terrifying remnant of a world that should have been destroyed in the Great Flood. One of their most notorious leaders was Og, king of Bashan, a colossal figure standing over 15 feet tall, a titan among men. He ruled over fortified cities, his mere presence enough to send armies into panic. The Israelites feared him. They saw the Rephaim as supernatural enemies, beings too powerful to be mere mortals. The Bible describes their bones as enormous, their strength as unmatched. But there's something else, something chilling. The Rephaim were linked to the world of the dead. Were they resurrected beings? A bloodline tainted with something not of this world? Or was their power a sign of something far more terrifying? One thing is certain. The Rephaim weren't just giants. They were an omen. And their presence in history was no accident. The Anakim were a race that struck fear into the hearts of even the bravest warriors. Their name alone tells a story. Anak, meaning those who fell from the sky. Coincidence or a clue? Many believe the Anakim were direct descendants of celestial beings, the offspring of the fallen angels. Their stature was mind-boggling. Standing between 14 and 15 feet tall, these giants were monstrous. When Israelite spies entered Canaan, they saw the Anakim. And what they reported is chilling. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. Numbers 13:33. Let that sink in. The Anakim were so massive, so intimidating, that even seasoned warriors felt like insects before them. They weren't just warriors, they were worshipped. Some ancient cultures saw them as demigods, beings of divine descent, rulers of the land. But their reign wouldn't last forever. Joshua, leader of the Israelites, waged a brutal war to wipe them out. And then they vanished. But did they truly disappear, or did they simply fade into the shadows of history? The truth might be far stranger than we've been told. The Amim were not just giants. They were something worse. Their very name means the terrifying ones. And the stories about them? Absolutely nightmarish. Historians, including the famous Flavius Josephus, recorded eerie details about the Amim. Their roars sounded like lions, shaking the very ground. Their features were so grotesque, so monstrous, that they were barely recognizable as human. Their presence was enough to make even the strongest warriors flee in terror. They were as tall as the Anakim, but there was something off about them, something demonic. And then, suddenly, they disappeared. No one knows how, no one knows why. But what if they didn't just die out? What if something far more sinister happened to them? A force that terrifying doesn't just fade away. Or does it? The Zamzumim were unlike any other giant race. It wasn't just their size that made them terrifying. It was something far more unnatural. Their name means murmurers or whisperers. Why? Some believe they communicated in ways beyond human understanding, perhaps even through telepathy. They were nearly wiped out by the Ammonites, a rival tribe. But here's where it gets strange. Ancient accounts claim they left something behind, a hidden bloodline, one that may still exist today. Could it be possible that remnants of the Zamzumim are still among us? That their strange abilities were passed down through generations? Maybe the giants aren't gone. Maybe they just blend in. And if that's true, what does that mean for us? If there was one race of giants that seemed unstoppable, it was the Zuzim. Their name means the strong ones, and legends say they were nearly indestructible. Their bodies were like stone, their strength was unmatched. The book of Genesis describes a great battle. A powerful king, Chedorlaomer, led an army to exterminate them. But the Zuzim didn't fall easily. They fought, they endured, and even after their defeat, their legend lived on. The question is, what were they really? A biological anomaly, or something much, much darker? All 5 races of giants gone, erased from history. But why? Some say they were killed off. Others believe they were exterminated by a force greater than humanity. But there's another theory. What if they never left? What if traces of their DNA, their power, their legacy still exist today? Ancient legends, hidden bloodlines, secret societies. Could it all be connected? Maybe we're not just uncovering history. Maybe we're unlocking a secret that was never meant to be found. And if that's the case, what else have they been hiding from us? If you've made it this far, you're not just a casual viewer. You're a seeker of truth. And trust me, there's so much more to uncover. Subscribe to Path to the Unknown for more hidden mysteries. Share this video if you believe history is not what we were told, because the past is far darker than we ever imagined. And the more we dig, the more we realize we've only scratched the surface. They once walked this earth, towering above men, feared by kings, worshipped as gods. Yet today, they are gone. Not a single one remains, or so they want you to believe. The 5 races of giants, the Anakim, the Rephaim, the Emim, the Zamzumim, and the Zuzim, were once among the most dominant forces in the ancient world. They ruled, they conquered, and they left their mark on history in ways few dare to acknowledge. But what happened to them? How did they disappear? And more importantly, did they truly vanish, or is there something far more sinister at play? This is not just a story of the past. This is a story of power, of knowledge hidden from the world, and of a secret war that never ended. Welcome to Path to the Unknown, and today we reveal the truth they don't want you to know. History is written by the victors, and the victors made sure that the true fate of the giants would remain a mystery. Ancient records, long-forgotten texts, and whispers of secret knowledge all point to one undeniable fact. The giants were hunted down. But by who? By what force? There are 3 primary theories, each more terrifying than the last. Imagine a time when the very existence of giants was seen as a threat to kings, to civilizations, to the very order of humanity itself. The Bible, the Book of Enoch, and numerous ancient texts all suggest that giants were not just powerful, they were uncontrollable. They waged wars, they crushed cities, they spread their influence across the lands, challenging the rule of men. And so a decision was made, a coordinated effort by entire nations, by ancient warrior clans, and perhaps even by supernatural forces, to wipe them out. The book of Joshua tells us how the Israelites, guided by divine command, systematically exterminated the remaining giants in the land of Canaan. They did not merely fight them, they hunted them, tracked them down, slaughtered them to the last. Coincidence? Or was this a global effort, a secret war waged to erase the last remnants of a lost and powerful race? But this leads us to an even more disturbing possibility. The first great purge happened during the flood. The book of Genesis states that God himself sent the waters to wipe out the Nephilim, the hybrid offspring of fallen angels and humans. But if that flood was meant to destroy them, how did they return? Some believe that the fallen angels, the ones who had created them in the first place, once again interfered with humanity, reintroducing their bloodline into the world. But this time the divine forces did not sit idly by. Biblical and apocryphal texts suggest that another purge took place. Could it be that these giants were not just physical threats, but also spiritual abominations? Were they wiped out because their very existence was a blasphemy against creation itself? Some records hint at celestial wars, battles between divine beings and the remnants of the Nephilim. Could it be that what we call myths, stories of gods warring against titans, are actually echoes of a real event? An event so catastrophic that it left a permanent scar on human history? If so, what exactly were these giants, and why were they seen as such a dire threat? Perhaps the answer lies not in what happened to them, but in what they knew. Power, ancient, forbidden, lost. Or was it? What if the true danger of the giants wasn't just their strength, but their knowledge? We know that civilizations like the Sumerians, the Egyptians, and the Mayans all spoke of beings that came from the stars, beings that taught them secrets of the universe, of energy, of construction, of immortality. And what do all these civilizations have in common? They all built structures that defy modern explanation. Could it be that the giants were the last vessels of this ancient knowledge? A knowledge so powerful that it had to be erased from the world? And if so, did they truly die? Or did their secrets live on, hidden away by those who feared them? Because even today whispers of their legacy still persist. They may be gone, but their shadows still linger. Evidence number one, the giant bones that disappeared over the centuries. Enormous skeletal remains have been found across the world. Humanoid bones, far larger than any normal human, some measuring up to 15 feet in height. Yet, every time they are discovered, they vanish. Museum records go missing, artifacts are locked away, and experts are silenced. Why? Because the truth threatens the official narrative. The Greeks told stories of the Titans, the Norse spoke of the Jotun, the Native Americans whispered of the great giants who once roamed the land. Every culture, every continent speaks of them. Even when separated by oceans, they all remember. Coincidence? Or proof that these giants were not just myths, but a reality that was covered up? What if some bloodlines survived? What if secret organizations, obsessed with power, have spent centuries trying to resurrect what was lost? Could this explain the fascination with genetic manipulation, the endless pursuit of superhuman abilities, and most chilling of all, could some of the most powerful people today be the descendants of those ancient giants? So we return to the question. Did the giants simply vanish, or were they systematically erased along with everything they knew? Because history is not just about the past, it's about control. The real secrets of the giants lie not in what they did, but in why they were silenced. And if those secrets still exist, who holds them now? And what are they planning to do with them? We were told they were myths. We were told they never existed. But the deeper we dig, the more we find. Perhaps the giants never truly disappeared. Perhaps their legacy has been buried, waiting to be uncovered. And perhaps, just perhaps, that moment is coming sooner than we think. This is Path to the Unknown, and the journey has only just begun. If you believe history has been hidden from us, if you believe that the past holds secrets we were never meant to know, then like, comment, and subscribe, because the truth is out there, and we're going to find it. History is written by the victors. But what happens when the truth is too powerful to be told? What happens when the past holds secrets so great they could shatter our understanding of reality? The giants of the Bible, were they real, or were they something more? Some say they were myths, others believe they were wiped from history. But the truth is far more disturbing. Their legacy did not die. Their lessons remain, hidden, waiting for those who dare to seek them. And tonight, we are going to uncover them. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you will never look at history the same way again. Throughout history, we have seen this pattern repeat itself. Great civilizations rise, and then they fall. The Nephilim, the Rephaim, the Anakim, giants who walked among men. They had strength beyond measure, power that rivaled the gods, yet they were destroyed. Why? Because power without wisdom is a curse. The giants were creatures of fury and war. They dominated the lands, instilled fear in entire nations. But their own power consumed them. Their bloodlines were hunted, their kingdoms were erased, their very existence was struck from history. And isn't that what we see throughout time? The fall of Atlantis, the collapse of the Roman Empire, the disappearance of entire cultures that once thrived. Strength alone is never enough. Without wisdom, without balance, even the mightiest will crumble. And if history has taught us anything, it's that those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. Are we next? They want you to believe that these giants never existed, that they were nothing more than stories, myths, legends. But what if I told you the proof is still here? Ancient texts across the world speak of titans who once walked the earth. The Book of Enoch describes the fallen ones, angels who defied the divine order, mingled with humanity, and gave birth to the Nephilim. Native American tribes tell of red-haired giants who terrorized their people. In the Middle East, old records speak of warrior kings whose height was beyond normal human limits. And what about the mysterious giant skeletons that have been unearthed, only to disappear? Coincidence or cover-up? The past does not lie. The evidence is not gone. It is just hidden, buried beneath ruins, locked away in secret archives, dismissed by those who control the narrative. But nothing stays buried forever. The truth always finds a way to surface. The question is, are we ready to face it? Giants were not just enormous beings. They were a sign of something greater, something otherworldly. The fallen angels that fathered them, the powers that created them, the forces that erased them. They didn't just vanish. They are still here. Look at the world today, the symbols, the rituals, the ancient knowledge hidden in plain sight. The elite have always known. The greatest minds of history, Da Vinci, Tesla, Newton, they all hinted at something beyond our understanding. What if the giants were never meant to be erased? What if their existence was a warning, a reminder that there are forces in this world pulling the strings behind the curtain, forces that do not want us to know the full truth? The more we search, the closer we get, the stronger the resistance becomes. Why? Because knowledge is power, and those in control fear what happens when the masses wake up. We must ask ourselves, are giants merely relics of the past, or is their legacy still alive? The past holds secrets, and the deeper we dig, the more we realize we have only scratched the surface. Ancient history is not what we were taught. Our reality is not what it seems. And those who dare to seek the truth, they find themselves standing at the edge of something far greater than they ever imagined. What else has been hidden? What else is waiting to be uncovered? Because if the giants were real, if their history was erased, then what else have they kept from us? This is only the beginning. If you've made it this far, you are not just a casual listener. You are a seeker, a truth hunter. And together we will uncover what has been buried for too long. Subscribe to Path to the Unknown, because the greatest secrets are still waiting, and we are just getting started. If you've made it this far, you're not just a casual listener, you're a seeker, a truth hunter. And this is only the beginning. There are more mysteries to uncover, more forbidden knowledge hidden in plain sight, more secrets buried beneath the layers of history. We've only scratched the surface of what lies beyond the veil, and together we will explore the unknown. So, if you're ready to step beyond the limits of what we've been taught, if you're ready to see history through a new lens, subscribe to Path to the Unknown for more untold secrets, because the past is far darker than we ever imagined. And if you believe history isn't what we were told, if you believe that there's more to this world than what meets the eye, share this video. Let others wake up. Let the veil be lifted. Because in the end, the greatest secrets are not those that are hidden in the darkness, but those that are hidden in plain sight.